Happy Friday the 13th, everybody. Welcome back to the Media Hub. This is Uncle Filthy, and today I've got for you a very special video. As you know, with this beautiful holiday, we horror fans love to get together and celebrate Friday the 13th every time it comes around in the year. What's great about it is every year it's going to be in a different month. Sometimes you get two of them in a year. Those are the ones I really like. But this time I've got another ranking for you guys, Friday the 13th related, of course. You click the video, you know what this is. Before we continue, I would like to remind you, if you're watching this on the day of release, be sure to go over to Movie Misfits video tonight at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Chris is going to have me, Danner, and Chad over there for the Nostalgic Nightmares Camp Crystal Lake Friday the 13th special. We're going to be going through the Friday the 13th franchise and all of its blood-soaked glory. Be sure to tell them good old Steve Christie sent you. Back to the show. There have been over 100 kills, I think somewhere between 100 and 200 kills in the Friday the 13th franchise. With that, everybody's got a handful of favorites. I've selected 13 kills for you guys, and I do have a couple honorable mentions that I'll throw in near the end of the video. While you're watching this, be sure to let me know down below what your guys' favorite kills are. You can do top 5, top 10, top 13. If you're really committed, you could give me all the kills that you prefer in order down below. But without any further ado, let's get into this video, guys.
Friday the 13th.
This one was one that I wasn't sure was going to make it on the list, but thinking about all the kills that happened throughout the franchise, this is one that I just couldn't really stay away from. And that is going to be the death of Amanda in the Friday the 13th reboot. This is the infernal sleeping bag kill. You've got the girl in the sleeping bag over the fire. This is just a really painful looking way to go out, and something that I think is just really horrifying sort of visual experience. It was definitely one that I remember sort of having a real sort of visceral reaction to watching this movie for the first time, and it's one of the best ways to do the sleeping bag kill, I think, in this franchise.
12.
This is one that I think is particularly painful looking, and you'll kind of notice a pattern with this killing style. That's going to be Ben's head-crushing kill in Friday the 13th Part 7. A lot of those kills, I think, honestly, had the MPAA not interfered and cut the kills down, a lot of these kills could have been really a lot better, just a lot more gruesome, and I think it could have elevated my preference for the film. But this is one of the kills in the film that, even with the MPAA butchering it, I think is still a pretty particularly good kill. This one may not have cracked the top 10, but it does crack something, and is probably going to be higher in some of your guys' lists. This is going to be the liquid nitrogen face smashing scene from Jason X. The death of Adrian. It's one of the sort of standouts in the franchise as a whole, which is really cool when you consider 10 films in, you have this one that is one that always pops to mind for people. It's a really cool kill. It's not one that I feel is as classic and iconic as some of the ones that I'm going to have later. I don't like this one as much as some of the ones that I'll talk about later in the video, but I like it enough to include it in the list proper.
10.
I told you guys you would see a pattern. Coming in at number 10, we have Doug's head-crushing kill in Friday the 13th, the final chapter. Bar none, my favorite film in the franchise, so it's going to have some kills represented here. Doug's face smashing scene in the shower was a nice spin on the, sort of the Janet Leigh thing in Psycho, where you have the girl in the shower getting killed by the madman. You got that going on here, but instead it's the pretty boy getting his pretty boy face smashed, and the back of his head is just being crushed against the tile wall in the shower. Just really brutal, and it sort of gave the guys a reason to fear going into the shower.
9.
We are not done with part 4 just yet. this is another one, and this one, guys, we all feel this one. We all cringe and wince when we see this kill, I'm sure. It's going to be Paul's kill, the spear gun in the crotch. That's one that I have a sort of involuntary reaction to every time I see this one coming up on the film. An uncomfortable one to watch, and I think a really effective kill, especially as a guy. This one hits pretty close to home.
8.
I'm surprised I didn't have this one higher. That's going to be the double impalement, the shish kebab kill, as I like to call it. You know the one, Jeff and Sandra from Friday the 13th Part 2. Just a really iconic kill, even if it was nicked from Bay of Blood. Yeah, there's the whole behind the scenes thing that makes it a little bit uncomfortable and weird to watch these days, but I still think that the uncut version is pretty cool when you have Sandra trying to push Jeff up off of her. It's just one of those weird things where you see that human nature, you know, if you and your partner are being attacked, it's just really brutal. And just a really great kill in the franchise, definitely a standout and one of the first ones that I think most Friday fans are gonna think of when they are told, hey, think about your top 13 kills.
7.
This is one of the more heartbreaking kills in the franchise. You got a father trying to protect his daughter from Jason Voorhees. He fights Jason man-to-man only to get folded like a lawn chair. That's right, we're talking Sheriff Garris and getting his back crunched over. Just bent over backwards and literally sort of folded in half backwards. You guys know the kill. This is one that I remember having a really wild reaction to as a kid when I first saw this one. Just something about the supernatural impracticality of it, or whatever you'd want to say. It was just one that really sort of blew me away, and the sound design I think is one thing that makes this one particularly effective. Just hearing all those bones in his back crunching as he's being sort of bent over there.
6.
This is one that I think a lot of people are going to have relatively high, and I'm honestly surprised that I put it on the list, but apparently I didn't sleep on it. We're going to talk about Trey's kill from Freddy vs. Jason. Sort of the dick character of the film. For all intents and purposes, the first real kill in the film, if we want to count the other one as sort of a dream. But this one is very satisfying because he's sort of the dickhead character. We all love to watch them get theirs. Personally, I think he might have got it a little too early in the film. It would have been nice to see him evolve as sort of a dickhead and really get this one coming to him like at the midpoint of the film. But we get it right away. Definitely lets us know that Freddy vs. Jason is not going to be wasting our time. And it's a kill that I think is a really satisfying one to watch. It just shows that the film that we're about to embark on is a little bit on the silly side. It's going to be fun. It's going to be over the top.
5.
We are officially in the top 5, and this is our first high roller of the night. This is going to be Mark from Friday the 13th Part 2. If there's one kill that you didn't want to happen, one character that you would have wanted to see survive throughout the film, Mark definitely would be in that discussion, but he didn't make it through. Instead, he gets the bill hook to the face, ends up rolling down the stairs. It's a kill that is just comically dark. You sort of feel like you're going to go to hell for laughing at it if you do end up laughing about it. I've laughed at it a couple times. But this is one that really was another one that sort of took me by surprise as a kid, just because it's like, oh no, they're not going to kill the guy in the wheelchair. He's that's sort of off limits. That's an unsafe territory. We're not going to go there. But the movie did go there, and it gave us one of the ultimate iconic kills in the franchise. Mark's kill, number 5.
4.
Coming in at another 4 is another one that as a man is a pretty uncomfortable kill to watch. That's going to be Andy's kill in Friday the 13th Part 3. You have Andy walking around on his hands, and he's going through the hallway. Jason's right there. He looks sort of up. Would you call it down or up? If you're walking on your hands, doesn't really matter. But anyway, you have him looking up at Jason. You get that iconic shot of Jason looking down at him right before he just swings that machete right down the groin. And it's one that, as a guy, it's not really a comfortable kill to witness. It's kind of in the same vein as Paul's kill from Part 4. Just one that's super iconic, and when you get that reveal of him up in the rafters afterward, it's just, it just makes for a fun sort of moment where you get a repeat of the Kevin Bacon death with his girlfriend. But Andy's kill, number 4. Alright, campers, before we get to our top 3, we're going to take a quick detour and take a look at some of the honorable mentions. These are some kills that just barely missed out on being included in my top 13. Some of these kills are just as iconic as some of the ones I've mentioned. Some may be more iconic than those that I've already mentioned. Some of these may in fact be in your lists proper. One honorable mention I've got is going to be Eddie from Friday the 13th Part 5 with the strap over the eyes. Super painful looking death at the hands of Roy Burns. I've also got Kevin Bacon's kill in the original Friday the 13th with the arrow through the neck. It's iconic, it's a classic, but it just missed out on being in the list. And I know this is going to tick some people off. It's going to be Julius from Jason Takes Manhattan. For some people, that's the only redeeming factor of the film. The kill's just a little over the top and just a little silly. And just sort of because of that missed out on being included in my list. I also have, as an honorable mention, the triple decapitation from Jason Lives. Just because of how insane of a feat that is. It's one of those things that was sort of running throughout that film is just sort of these unduplicatable kills. It's a really responsible act on Tom McLaughlin's part, but the triple decapitation, always a fun scene, but just missed out on the top 13. And the last honorable mention, this is probably the one that's going to sound some alarm bells. It's going to be Judy. Yes, the girl in the sleeping bag in Friday the 13th Part 7. I like the kill just fine. It would have been cooler if we'd had the uncut version, and that's sort of why I made this judgment call. Just a single whack against the tree. Sure, that's infinitely badass, but when you see what the sleeping bag kill could have been, we definitely missed out on that.
3.
Coming in at number 3, this is why you never have sex in the woods, guys, because you have the kill of Deborah and Luke from Jason Goes to Hell. A lot of people don't know their names, but you know the scene, the iconic tent scene. This is one that's, I think, one of the most graphic, most brutal kills in the franchise. It's definitely one of the often discussed ones, I think, among Friday the 13th fans. Just a really graphic kill and a really graphic scene. Just really well done, and when you just see the way her body splits when he pulls that sign up, it's pretty fucking rough.
2.
Coming in second place, this one almost could have been number 1, and just missed out by a really narrow margin. This one I really like because of the build-up to it. That's going to be Marcy's death in the original Friday the 13th. That axe to the face is just a really brutal way to go out, but again, the build-up to her getting killed, it's just a masterclass in tension, and just the way the axe in the face looked after the attack. Just a really brutal effect job, and just really nice work on Tom Savini's end. And you gotta love the way the light fixture is just sort of shaking after the axe hits it too. Just adds a little extra something to that scene.
1.
But my top kill in the Friday the 13th franchise, this is one that some people might disagree with, but this is the one that I found to be sort of my favorite and one of the first ones I think about when I think of Friday the 13th kills. It's number 1 on my list, guys. It's going to be Axel from Friday the 13th, the final chapter. Axel was definitely something else of a character. He made Bud from Halloween 2 look like the guy that you would let date your daughter. Axel was definitely a piece of work. Axel had it coming, and I think this is definitely one of the most standout kills in the franchise. And again, one of the first ones that I think about when I think of kills in the Friday the 13th franchise. So that was my list of the top 13 kills in the Friday the 13th franchise, guys. That was a lot of fun to do. I could have done all the kills in the franchise, but that would have just been way too big of a video. But all the same, go ahead and let me know down below what your guys' favorite kills are in the series. Did I put some in the wrong place, or is there something that I might have missed? Go ahead and let me know down below. I'll see you guys in the next one.